In this way I want to talk about how to ace your New Year's resolutions, because New Year is coming up in a few days and it's a very common thing for people to have kind of resolutions. So something they want to maybe learn or something they want to do, some goal they set up for themselves and so on and so forth. But most often these New Year's resolutions don't last very long. For most people they last maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks. And yeah, that's probably it. So I kind of want to talk about why this is the case and how to avoid this. So the first thing I want to say is don't have New Year's resolutions. And you will see in a second why I'm saying this and why what this has to do with actually achieving your goals. Because you really have to ask yourself, well, what's my motivation for doing this thing or for trying to learn this thing or whatever? Like what's my motivation behind this? Because if your motivation is, well, I actually care and I actually want to do this thing or learn something, whatever it may be for you, then why wait until New Year? Like why? Or why why restrict this, like the phase for learning to like 1 year in particular in any case? Like what's so special about this next year that's coming up? Like why not start now if you actually care and if you actually want to learn or achieve or and so on and so forth? So, and this is, I think for most people it has to do with there's a kind of obsession with having this, you have this picture in your mind maybe of like your calendar, and you tick off every day in this new year, and then you have a whole year ticked off with whatever you set up for yourself as a goal or as a learning goal and so on and so forth. And so yeah, and I think this is really, like, this is one of the motivations behind like this New Year's resolution thing. But I mean, we all know this, like streaks don't truly motivate. They only superficially motivate. Of course, if you think, well, I'm gonna do this every day, you are motivated by doing it every day, like whatever it may be, but you are not actually motivated to do the thing, but you just want to have achieved it every day. So the actual content of what you want to do, what you want to learn, whatever, achieve, kind of like it goes into the background, and in the foreground is the means you try to employ to do this thing, and that is every day. So you can, like, at the end of the time span, you can say, well, I did it every day, but it doesn't motivate you to do the thing any more than before, if you understand what I mean. And this, I think all of this really comes down to an obsession over means. And I mean, this really characterizes our whole, like, our modern world in its entirety, I would say. And I think this is also what's happening here. So these streaks are kind of a means to kind of force and trick yourself to doing something every day. But not only streaks in general, but or not only streaks, but also, for example, apps, accountability, for example, accountability buddies or something like that, and social pressure, like in general. Like if you tell someone, well, I'm gonna do this every day or every week or whatever for in the next year, like you are kind of, I think one of the driving force is, well, I want to be held accountable if I actually did it, and so on and so forth. The same with like apps, like there's so many motivation apps or so many habit trackers and so many to-do lists and all this kind of stuff. And there's so much of this stuff because I think it really boils down to an obsession over means. But and I think this is like the main point. Don't trick or force yourself. Like this picture people have in their mind of themselves or as of humans in general, which you are trying to trick and force yourself to do something by installing an app, by having an accountability buddy and so on and so forth. But that only shows you that you are not, I don't even want to like say motivated, because motivation is always a kind of superficial thing, but that you don't have an inner drive, that you don't see that the thing you want to do is not important enough for you. So I think like one of the most important things is to fail and destroy all streaks. Like honestly, like I have done it in the past, like where I would like intentionally start with something I wanted to do, and especially if New Year's Eve was coming up, I would start with the thing before the New Year's whatever, and I would fail immediately like within the first few days of the new year. So, and this would show me, well, do I actually want to do this thing? Because if I have failed the streak, like if I can't say, well, I did it every day for this last year, like if the streak is already dead, in some sense, then like all that's left to do is, well, do I actually want to do this thing? And if yes, I will do it. And if no, well, the streak is already destroyed. I can't recover it, if you know what I mean. So I guess I won't do it. And I think this all leads to this point, like have a why. Like, why do you want to do this thing? Like, why do you care? Like, why is this important to you? Why is this important in general? And if you don't have a why, like if there's just this kind of obsessive, like I almost want to say like kind of autistic picture in your mind of like, well, I want to do this every day, then, well, I don't think you should do it, because then you don't actually want to do it. You want to do something every day for the year or whatever, just so you can say, well, I did it every day, but you don't actually care about the contents enough. Because if you did, you wouldn't have to have this like kind of outer, like from the outside motivation in the form of an app, in the form of social pressure, in the form of a streak, because all of this stuff is outside, if that makes sense. It's not inside you. So what I would say, and what I want to kind of conclude this video with, is do what you want to do and feel the consequences. And this, I think, applies, like, this is not some motivation thing. This is not some achieve your dreams thing. This is if you want to lay on the couch all day and eat potato chips and watch TV or Netflix or whatever, then do it. Like, honestly, if you want to play video games all day, then do it. But try to feel the consequences of that. And because if you actually become aware of what this kind of stuff does to you and how you feel when you do it, you will, I think, more quickly be motivated to change something about that. Because, well, not because that's just how it is. And the more extreme you are in what you want to do, and in doing that, the harder the consequences of that are. So I think bad behavior is in that sense good, because it shows you that it's actually bad. Because bad, like, and I mean, when I say bad behavior, I don't mean like in a moral or social context, but rather in a personal context. So again, the more you just waste your time with playing video games, for example, as was the case for me, like the more extreme you are in that, the quicker you realize, well, that's actually pretty bad, because you get to feel the really bad consequences. It's different when you just like kind of, if you just play some video game, for example, a few hours a day, and every day only a few hours, only a bit, you don't ever feel the real, like the harsh consequences of that. So you never actually get motivated to change that. I hope you know what I mean. But the same thing goes with good things as well. So if you do something that you actually like enjoy doing, and you just do it more, you will feel, well, I'm getting better at this. This is fun, and so on and so forth. So this kind of goes in both directions, I think. So yeah, do what you want to do and feel the consequences. Yeah, that's I think what it boils down to, really. So yeah, I think this was pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. So try to not have New Year's resolutions. Try to just have things you want to do. Know why you want to do the things, and kind of go all in with what you want to do. And if you don't feel motivated to do anything, well, then don't force yourself, I would say. Well, I mean, I want to kind of add this. There is a place where you have to force yourself, and where you kind of need to step out of your comfort zone, of course. But if you don't have a reason why you want to do this, I think that doesn't really last that long. So yeah. But okay, I kind of wanted to restrict this to New Year's resolutions, and I hope this was helpful to you. That's all I had. So yeah. Have a nice day.